Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I have some Ki-61-Co gameplay for you. Now the Ki-61-Co has big potential. For the BR it's at, it is very fast and very maneuverable as well. The only thing that really puts this thing in the BR bracket that it is the relatively weak armament. It's got 250 cals, which are very nice. They do quite a substantial amount of damage. But then you also have two 7.7mm machine guns, which really don't do that much. But anyways, the armament of this plane doesn't really lack that much because it is still a very good plane and it can still carry a team very decently. Now, we just got our first fire on an enemy P-40 and he will go down due to the sustained amount of damage that his plane will be taking due to the fire. And that is really the thing that you want to go for with the Ki-61, either fires or maybe a good shot into the pilot's hitbox, and then you maybe kill the pilot. That is really what I've encountered is to be the only real way to try and kill them, or get surface control area damage, such as the tail control or anything similar to that. Now, the other P-40, we made a little pass on him and we zoom back up and then a Hurricane comes for us. Now, as I said, for this BR, this plane in terms of flight performance is absolutely amazing. The armament doesn't really complement the flight characteristics too much, but again, the way this plane handles is pretty great for its BR. So we can basically even outmaneuver a Hurricane, not on the deck, but if he's on relatively low energy, we can most definitely outmaneuver him. Now the P-40 is going down, he is basically running towards his friends. It's a smart thing for him to do, but I am going to be going for him because he is a pretty dangerous target and, well, actually also quite an easy target. Now we get a first spray into the fuselage, not too much. We get another spray in with the 50 cals, and the 7.7s do seem to hit his oil tank, which is going to be nice in the long run because he will have to struggle with trying to cool down his engine as well. Now there is a guy directly below us, a Hurricane, and this guy seems to be going very, very slowly. So we, with our very fast plane, will take advantage of that. We get a good spray into him. Nothing critical, to be honest. You really shouldn't expect that. What you're basically doing with this armament is just basically keep doing pass and pass and pass on them so that they eventually tire out. Now the P-40 just flies straight right in front of us. We get a nice fire on him, very long burst as well, and he will go down due to the fire and the already previous taken damage to his plane. Now we zoom back up with the speed that we gained in the previous two engagements, which leads us to about 1.3 kilometers, which is, for this fight that we're in right now, where basically everyone is down on the deck, is pretty nice. So this Hurricane right in front of us right now is, as you can see, basically flying through the trees, and he actually does crash as well. So what I'm presuming is that he took so much damage to the airframe and the engine that he just couldn't keep the airplane in the air for much longer. So we zoom back up, we come right in front of an enemy Hurricane. We get a little bit hits into him, he also gets some hits into us, nothing critical though, so we are all okay. I go back around him, and that is, as I said, one of the most redeeming features about this plane. The flight characteristics are absolutely great, as I said before. So we put the plane into a dive, put it at 100% throttle, not web because I don't want to overheat the engine, and we catch up to him relatively fast. Now he starts evasive maneuvers, but it does not help him in any way, to be honest, because he was already on relatively low speeds and it's really hard to evade at that point. So that is 3 enemies down. Now I am basically chasing down these last couple of guys. I'm putting it in web because they are already relatively close to their airfield, and I want to get to them as soon as possible to try and at least catch one before he actually properly makes it to his airfield and try and make him commit to a fight. Now again, not using the WEP because my engine is already overheating quite a bit and I don't want to run it out. already. Now I spray my ammunition here, and that is actually a very bad decision by me. Because now, even though I'm not on low ammunition, if I saved all of that ammunition that I just shot and I just stayed roughly around 5-6 kilometers away from the airfield and allowed them to take off again and basically pounce on them as soon as they leave the safety of their anti-air. So what I'm deciding here, I'm playing with the idea of staying around or going back to base. And I'm just looking at what they're doing, because some of them are already taking off. I know that I won't have enough to take all of them on, so it's basically every 30 seconds I change my opinion here. And right now I decide to go for the Wellington, but again, for the Wellington I definitely don't have the punch even for it, because this thing definitely is not a bomber hunter. And I go up for him, I basically immediately throw away the idea of actually committing on to a fight to him, because I'm already on not ideal fighting speed against the bomber, and I'm also below him, which is going to be even worse. And the 7.7s are definitely good enough to knock out my engine. And right now I just go back into a climb, still debating what to do. Now, right now, I decide I'm gonna go back to base. There's no real need for me to hang around here, because they're gonna take off eventually either way. And as soon as I get my guns reloaded and back into the fight, the better it is. Now, I am keeping an eye on the enemy airfield just to see what they are doing. And then I look to my left for whatever reason, and then I spot a Spitfire that is relatively close and still quite far away from his airfield. So I again change my opinion and go for the Spitfire. Now, I am closing into him very rapidly, because this thing in a level flight will easily go up to 500, even 550 kilometers an hour without any problem. So we're about 2 kilometers away from him now. I should have enough ammunition to take him out, because overall combined the damage potential on a fighter is still not great, but it's definitely not terrible either. And this guy actually has basically no engine power left, and I actually nearly ram him as I fly past him. He is now leaking a lot of coolant. I just put the plane in 0% throttle, go back up around, and put a spray into him. Now, I do have to say, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with these 50 cals and 7.7s, because I have not used them very often, so my aim is definitely not on point with these guns. Now, I go back for another run, just to finish off my ammunition basically, and make sure that he actually goes down. He hits the ground, and we get the kill for it. Now I am completely out of ammunition, and I actually have to run away from the enemies that have taken off again. Now at this point it's basically just me running away from these guys and getting back to base. I do make it back to base. They don't actually catch up to me. They stay at about 1 kilometer away from me, but it's not very interesting to watch. So I'll put a jump cut here, and I will catch you when the action resumes. So after landing and taking off again, we are coming in very quickly, because there is a hurricane, and I really want the kill on this hurricane. So we are coming in very, very fast, and we're gonna close the gap in a couple of seconds, and you have to get pretty lucky to get guns on and actually kill him in such a short pass. But we do actually get lucky and take out his pilot. Now I'm gonna put another jump cut here, because it is gonna take a while before we find the next enemy, so I will be back with you when the action resumes. So the last guy has just taken off from his airfield, and we are well above him, so this should not be too difficult. Now I put the plane into a steep dive to slot in right behind him. I cut my throttle because I don't want to be too fast and potentially lock up. Now we put a very decent spray into him. I don't know if I did any substantial damage to him, but it doesn't really matter, because I have enough ammo at this point that I can spray quite a bit. But this guy is going to be relatively difficult to fight for me, because a Spitfire, you can definitely turn fight with a Spitfire in this thing, but you do need to watch out what you are doing yourself, that you don't actually mess it up and get right in front of him. Now we get a good burst into him, making him lose his coolant. This may have also damaged his engine, and we pull the plane up, try and get on his 6. Again, do pardon my aim here, because I really have not used these guns very often. Now we pull the plane back around on his 6. I do get an accidental few hits into my friendly, but it won't be too bad on his part. Now we get another hit onto his water coolant, it seems. I follow up after him using my flaps to the full extent that I have, and I get my guns on again, making some hits, nothing too critical, and then I put a very nice burst of 50 cals into his fuselage, taking him out. So that is going to be it for today. I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.